I've lived through a few things in my 70-something years. Raising kids, retiring, watching friends come and go. But one thing I never expected to fear was a stroke. Not until it hit my neighbor Jerry. Jerry was 74, healthy, laughed a lot. He even walked to the farmer's market every Saturday, same as me. But one morning, after a quiet breakfast, he collapsed. A stroke, silent, sudden, and devastating. That day changed how I look at everything I eat, especially what's on my plate in the morning. See, most people know to avoid fried foods or too much salt. But what they don't know is that some of the most powerful foods to prevent stroke aren't sold in fancy bottles or advertised on TV. They're hidden right in the produce aisle, in the leafy greens and herbs we often walk right past. Today, I want to share with you 9 vegetables that doctors rarely mention, but science says can support healthy blood flow, reduce inflammation, and protect your brain as you age. These aren't trendy. They're not expensive. But they may just save your life, or someone you love. And some, you've probably never thought of them as stroke-fighting foods before. So grab a cup of tea, and let's go over what to add to your plate before something is taken away. 1. Turnip greens, the overlooked leaf that could save your brain. If you've ever tossed the leafy tops of turnips into the trash or compost, you might be throwing away one of the most powerful stroke-fighting vegetables out there. Yes, I'm talking about turnip greens. They may not have the fame of kale or spinach, but when it comes to protecting your brain from stroke, they deserve a spotlight of their own. Why turnip greens? Help prevent stroke. Turnip greens are incredibly rich in folate, lowers homocysteine levels in the blood. Elevated homocysteine is strongly linked to increased stroke and heart attack risk, especially in adults over 60. Vitamin K1 helps prevent calcification of arteries and improves blood vessel flexibility. This keeps blood flowing freely to the brain. Natural nitrates, the same kind found in beets. They convert into nitric oxide, which relaxes blood vessels, improves circulation, and lowers blood pressure. A major stroke risk factor. Calcium, magnesium, and potassium. A trio that works to reduce vascular tension, balance electrolytes, and support a healthy heart rhythm. The science speaks. A 2018 study in the Journal of the American Heart Association showed that higher leafy green intake, especially those high in nitrates and folate, was associated with a 21% reduction in ischemic stroke risk. Another large-scale review from Harvard tracked over 90,000 nurses and found that women who consumed the most leafy greens had 20 to 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease. Turnip greens are rarely in the spotlight, but gram for gram, they often contain more folate than kale and up to twice the calcium of spinach. How to use turnip greens without getting overwhelmed. If you're not used to cooking them, don't worry, they're quite versatile. Sautéed with garlic and olive oil, just 5 minutes in a pan and a squeeze of lemon. In soup or stew, add them near the end so they stay vibrant and tender. In a morning omelet, chop finely and stir into eggs for a stroke-fighting breakfast. Pro tip. To reduce bitterness, blanch them first for 30 seconds in hot water before sautéing. This is especially helpful for sensitive taste buds. Important notes for seniors, blood thinners. If you're on warfarin or other anticoagulants, monitor your vitamin K intake. Turnip greens are high in vitamin K1, which can affect clotting. Don't avoid them, but talk to your doctor about a consistent daily amount. Oxalates. Turnip greens are relatively low in oxalates compared to spinach, making them a safer choice for those with kidney issues. Organic is best. Because leafy greens tend to retain pesticide residues, choose organic when possible and wash thoroughly. A final thought. I had a neighbor, Doris, 72, who started adding turnip greens to her soups after reading about them in a gardening magazine. She said they reminded her of the food her grandma made back in the South. After a year of cooking with them, her blood pressure dropped, her doctor reduced one of her medications, and her energy levels improved. She always tells me, "I didn't need a miracle pill. I just needed to stop throwing away the part of the vegetable that does the real healing." So the next time you're in the produce aisle, don't pass over those leafy green tops. They may be the cheapest brain insurance you'll ever find. 2. Bok choy, the Asian cabbage, that protects aging arteries. To many Americans, bok choy is just something you see in stir-fry at a Chinese restaurant. But to millions across Asia, and increasingly to health-conscious seniors in the U.S., this humble vegetable is considered a heart and brain protector. Let me tell you why bok choy deserves a place in every senior's kitchen. Stroke prevention power. Bok choy is a nutritional powerhouse in disguise, and here's how it helps reduce stroke risk. Selenium, a trace mineral that fights inflammation and reduces oxidative stress in blood vessels. Low selenium has been linked to higher stroke risk, especially in older adults. Vitamin C strengthens blood vessel walls and reduces damage caused by free radicals. 1 cup of bok choy provides over 35% of your daily vitamin C needs. Potassium, essential for balancing blood pressure and preventing arterial stiffness. Just 1 cup of cooked bok choy gives you over 600 milligrams of potassium, more than a banana. Folate plus vitamin K. Support healthy blood flow and prevent artery calcification, which reduces the risk of clot-related strokes. Clinical insight. In a large 2020 meta-analysis published in Stroke, people with higher blood selenium levels had up to 24% lower stroke risk. Another study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that increased intake of cruciferous vegetables like bok choy, kale, and broccoli was linked to less thickening of carotid artery walls, a major cause of stroke. How to enjoy bok choy. Easily, many seniors feel intimidated by new vegetables, but bok choy is mild in flavor, not bitter like some greens, soft in texture, easy to chew and digest, quick to cook, takes just 3 to 5 minutes to stir-fry or steam. Here are some easy ways to use it. Add to chicken soup or noodle broth. Drop it in 2 to 3 minutes before serving steam, and drizzle with olive oil, plus lemon chop finely into a morning scramble or soft tofu bowl. Choose baby bok choy for even more tenderness and sweetness. Helpful notes for seniors. Thyroid caution. Bok choy is a cruciferous veggie, which contains natural goitrogens. If you have hypothyroidism, avoid eating it raw in large quantities. But cooked bok choy is generally safe and beneficial. No need to add salt. Bok choy is naturally flavorful. Avoid adding soy sauce or table salt, especially if you're managing high blood pressure. Storage tip. Keep it in a paper towel inside a plastic bag in the fridge. Use within 3 to 5 days for maximum nutrients. A personal moment. My Uncle Peter, a retired Navy vet, first tried bok choy after his cardiologist told him to eat more vascular-friendly veggies. He was skeptical. "Looks like rabbit food," he joked. But after trying it sautéed with garlic and a splash of lemon, he was hooked. Now, bok choy shows up in his dinner plate at least 3 times a week. And last year, his blood pressure dropped from 142/90 to a steady 124/78, without changing his medications. He says, "I thought I'd need a new prescription. Turns out I just needed a new vegetable." So if you're over 60 and looking for something gentle on the stomach, powerful for the brain, and easy on the wallet, try bok choy. Sometimes the most powerful medicine doesn't come in a bottle. It comes in a leafy green with a soft crunch. 3. Parsley, the overlooked herb that could protect your brain. When most people see parsley on their plate, they treat it like decoration. They push it aside, ignore it, or maybe chew it out of politeness. But here's something I wish every senior knew. Parsley isn't just a garnish. It's a medicinal herb in disguise, especially for your blood vessels and brain. What makes parsley so special? Parsley contains a natural compound called apigenin, a plant-based flavonoid with powerful anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective effects. Here's what it can do. Improves blood flow to the brain by relaxing blood vessels. Reduces oxidative stress, which is a major contributor to stroke and cognitive decline. Inhibits clot formation and platelet aggregation. Supports the health of endothelial cells, the inner lining of blood vessels, keeping them smooth and flexible. Backed by research. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that apigenin improved vascular function and helped lower blood pressure in aging animals. Another clinical study from Molecular Nutrition and Food Research reported that apigenin-rich diets could reduce neuroinflammation, a known factor in stroke and dementia risk. How much do you need? Surprisingly, you don't need to eat large amounts. Just 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley can provide 100% daily value of vitamin K, crucial for preventing blood vessel calcification, a good source of vitamin C and beta-carotene. Small but effective doses of apigenin and essential oils like myristicin, which help protect neural tissue. How to add parsley to your meals. For seniors who don't like chewing raw greens, here are gentle, flavorful ways to enjoy parsley. Blend into smoothies with apple, banana, and spinach. Sprinkle over scrambled eggs or oatmeal. Add to soups or broths at the end of cooking. Chop finely into chicken salad, tuna salad, or soft tofu. Make a simple parsley tea. Steep 1 tablespoon of chopped parsley in hot water for 5 minutes. Try both curly and flat leaf parsley. Flat leaf tends to have stronger flavor and higher apigenin levels. Notes for seniors' medication interaction. Parsley is high in vitamin K, which helps with circulation, but can interact with blood thinners like warfarin. If you're on anticoagulants, talk to your doctor about safe amounts. Kidney caution. Parsley has diuretic properties. If you have kidney disease, consume in moderation and stay well hydrated. Always choose fresh, over-dried parsley for highest benefit. The fresh version contains more than 3 times the antioxidants. Personal story. My neighbor, Linda, 68 years old, had a minor stroke scare last year. Nothing serious, but it shook her up. She asked me if there was anything small she could do every day to keep her brain awake. I told her to start with parsley. She laughed at first. "You want me to eat table decor?" But now, she adds parsley to her morning omelet, her midday soup, and her evening tea. "It's like I'm giving my brain a little kiss 3 times a day," she told me recently. And her latest checkup? Blood pressure is down, circulation is stronger, and she feels sharper. So next time you see parsley on your plate, don't push it aside. Pick it up and give your brain the little green gift it deserves. 4. Fresh garlic, the tiny clove that can unclog your brain's lifeline. A single clove of garlic, small, sharp, smelly. But what if I told you that tiny clove might be one of the most powerful weapons against stroke? Let me explain. Why garlic is a lifesaver for seniors. As we age, plaques start building up inside our arteries, including the delicate vessels that feed our brain. Over time, this can lead to narrowing, high blood pressure, and blockages, the perfect storm for a stroke. That's where garlic comes in. Fresh garlic contains allicin, a sulfur compound released when garlic is chopped, crushed, or chewed. And this little molecule does some amazing things. Reduces blood pressure naturally by relaxing blood vessels. Lowers LDL, bad cholesterol, and prevents it from sticking to artery walls. Thins the blood slightly, reducing the risk of clot formation. Fights inflammation in blood vessels, a key factor in stroke and heart disease backed by research. A major review in the Journal of Nutrition showed that daily garlic intake can reduce systolic blood pressure by up to 10 millimeters of mercury in hypertensive individuals. Another study from atherosclerosis found that aged garlic extract helps slow the progression of arterial plaque in people over 60 in a clove. Here's what just 1 to 2 raw cloves of garlic per day can do. Improve circulation to the brain, heart, and limbs. Reduce artery stiffness, a strong predictor of stroke risk. Support better oxygen delivery throughout the body. And it does this without the side effects of many prescription medications. How seniors can enjoy garlic daily. I get it. Raw garlic can be intense, especially in the morning. But here are some gentle ways to include it. Crush 1 clove and mix with olive oil as a dip or salad drizzle. Add minced garlic to scrambled eggs or avocado toast. Mash into steamed sweet potatoes or roasted veggies. Steep crushed garlic in warm water with lemon and honey. Yes, it's tolerable. Let garlic sit 10 minutes after chopping to activate allicin before cooking. Tip: don't microwave or overcook garlic. It destroys the active compounds. Low heat is best. Gentle reminders for older adults. If you're on blood thinners, check with your doctor before taking garlic daily, as it may enhance their effects. Raw garlic may cause digestive upset in sensitive stomachs. Start with a small amount, half a clove, and work up slowly. To reduce odor, chew fresh parsley or fennel seeds afterward, or take aged garlic extract capsules. A quick story. My Aunt Clara is 73. After her minor TIA last winter, she was scared but determined. She asked me for just one food I can count on. I handed her a clove of garlic. She stared at it like I gave her a dare. But now, every night, she crushes 1 clove, stirs it into a little olive oil with a pinch of salt, and dips her whole grain toast in it. She calls it her stroke shield snack. And her last checkup? Blood pressure down. Cholesterol improved. And her neurologist smiled and said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." So if you think garlic is just a flavor booster, think again. It's a tiny clove with a mighty mission, keeping your arteries open, your blood flowing, and your brain protected. 5. Red spinach, the forgotten leaf that keeps blood flowing. When most people hear spinach, they think of Popeye's favorite food, the green kind. But red spinach? Most seniors in America have never even seen it, let alone tasted it. And that's a shame, because this beautiful crimson leaf could be one of nature's best-kept secrets for stroke prevention. Let me tell you why. What makes red spinach so special? Red spinach, also known as amaranth leaves, is packed with natural nitrates. These convert into nitric oxide in your body, helping blood vessels relax and widen potassium, a key mineral that helps balance sodium and reduce blood pressure. Flavonoids and polyphenols, powerful plant compounds that reduce oxidative stress and vascular inflammation. These are the exact factors that can lead to plaque buildup, poor circulation, and eventually, stroke. What the research says. A study published in Food and Function found that red spinach extract significantly boosted nitric oxide levels and improved blood flow within just hours of consumption. Other trials show that diets high in natural nitrates can reduce blood pressure by 4 to 10 millimeters of mercury, enough to cut stroke risk by up to 20 to 30%. Why it matters for seniors. As we get older, our blood vessels naturally stiffen. This makes it harder for oxygen to reach the brain efficiently and increases stroke risk. But nitric oxide from red spinach helps undo that stiffness, making vessels more flexible, improving brain perfusion, and keeping your memory sharp. How to add red spinach to your day. You won't find it in every grocery store, but here's where and how you can enjoy it. Asian or international markets often carry it. Look for amaranth leaves. Sauté it lightly with garlic and olive oil, like you would with kale or collards. Add to soups, stews, or stir-fries. Blend into morning smoothies with banana and a splash of oat milk. Use it fresh in salads. Its red veins add a beautiful touch cooking tip. Don't overcook. Light steaming or sautéing keeps nutrients intact. Things to keep in mind. If you take blood pressure medication, monitor your readings. Red spinach can enhance effects naturally. Rinse well before cooking. The red pigment can stain cutting boards and may hold some grit. Like most leafy greens, red spinach contains oxalates, which can contribute to kidney stones in sensitive individuals. Rotate with other greens if needed. A real-life story. Mr. Benjamin, a 68-year-old retired school teacher, came to one of my nutrition talks last year. He said, "I've been eating spinach my whole life. Never heard of red spinach." I gave him a bunch from my local market and showed him how to make a warm salad with garlic and lemon. He called me 3 weeks later. "Kid," he said, "I've been sleeping better, my feet don't feel as cold anymore, and my nurse says my numbers are better." That's not magic. That's just blood flowing freely again. So if you're looking for a way to gently support your circulation, not with drugs, not with fads, but with food that speaks the language of your body, try red spinach. It might just be the forgotten green that helps keep your brain red with life. 6. Purple basil, the brain-calming herb, hiding in your garden. You've probably seen it in the corner of a salad bar, or maybe growing in someone's herb pot on the porch. But most people walk right past purple basil, not realizing it's one of the most powerful stroke-fighting herbs nature ever grew. Yes, this vibrant violet-tinged basil is far more than a garnish. It's a natural anti-inflammatory, a stress reliever, and a vascular protector, all packed into a single leafy stem. What's inside purple basil? Purple basil is rich in anthocyanins, the same antioxidants found in blueberries and black raspberries, known for reducing blood vessel inflammation. Eugenol, a unique compound that helps relax blood vessels, lower blood pressure, and improve circulation to the brain, linalool, and rosmarinic acid, which reduce oxidative stress and help protect neurons and artery walls. According to a 2020 study in the Journal of Herbal Medicine, eugenol from basil can lower systolic blood pressure by up to 20 millimeters of mercury in hypertensive individuals. That's not a minor shift. That's a potentially life-saving number. Why it matters for stroke prevention. Here's the thing. Most strokes in seniors don't come from sudden trauma. They build up over time through chronic inflammation, tiny clots, and poor vascular tone. Purple basil helps the body fight back against all three. It's particularly powerful because it supports both the physical blood vessels and the mental stress response, two systems that often weaken together in older age. When you're constantly stressed, your body releases more cortisol and adrenaline, which can spike blood pressure and constrict arteries. But purple basil, especially in tea form, acts like a natural soothing balm for the nervous system. How to use purple basil. Don't be intimidated. It's easy to enjoy. Fresh leaves, add to sandwiches, soups, or chopped into a salad. Infuse tea. Steep a handful of fresh purple basil in hot water for 5 to 7 minutes. Add a slice of lemon and a touch of honey smoothies. Blend 2 to 3 leaves into berry smoothies. It adds aroma and extra antioxidants. Pesto? Make a heart-friendly pesto with olive oil, walnuts, and purple basil instead of green. Toip. The flavor is slightly more floral and spicy than green basil, perfect for relaxing evening dishes. Things to remember: don't confuse purple basil with Thai basil or holy basil, tulsi. Each has its own properties. Look for purple basil or dark opal basil at nurseries or farmers markets. If you're taking blood thinners or beta blockers, check with your doctor. Purple basil may enhance their effects due to its natural eugenol. Store in a damp paper towel inside a plastic bag in the fridge. It wilts quickly. From my own backyard, I planted purple basil during lockdown. Just a small pot, nothing fancy. One morning, my neighbor Martha, who's 72 and recently lost her husband, came over with her tea mug. "What's that smell?" she asked. I handed her a cup of basil tea I'd just made. She took a sip, paused, and said, "You know, it's the first time my hands feel warm all week." That cup of tea turned into a daily ritual. She says it helps her sleep deeper, feel calmer, and even remember her grocery list better. That's the kind of plant purple basil is. Quiet, gentle, healing. So if your blood pressure's been creeping up, if you're carrying too much stress in your chest or your neck feels tight in the mornings, if you want to protect your brain without another pill, try purple basil. It might just be the most powerful medicine you already had growing at home. 7. Chicory greens. The bitter leaf that heals from within. If you've ever eaten a fancy salad and pushed aside the bitter leaves, you might have tossed out one of the most powerful stroke prevention vegetables around. Chicory greens. It's not the prettiest. It's not the sweetest. But what it lacks in flavor, it makes up for in something even more precious. Protection for your brain and blood vessels. Why chicory greens matter. At first bite, chicory is intense, slightly bitter, a little earthy. But behind that bold taste is a chemical profile built for vascular defense. Here's what makes it special. Inulin, a type of soluble fiber that helps control blood sugar and cholesterol, both major stroke risk factors. Polyphenols, plant compounds that reduce inflammation and protect blood vessel lining, folate, and vitamin K. Nutrients critical for maintaining smooth blood flow and preventing clots. A clinical review in the European Journal of Nutrition found that diets high in chicory fiber improve blood lipid profiles and enhance arterial function in older adults. Even more impressive, inulin from chicory also feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which research increasingly links to brain health and stroke recovery. Why seniors should care. Many older Americans unknowingly carry two hidden stroke triggers: chronic low-grade inflammation, blood sugar spikes, especially in the morning. Chicory greens hit both. By regulating glucose and calming the immune system, they create a more stable internal environment, one that reduces the odds of artery rupture or clot formation. And because they're high in fiber, they also help maintain a healthy gut-brain axis, the pathway by which your digestive system talks to your brain. Yes, your gut and your brain are in constant conversation, and chicory helps keep that conversation peaceful. How to eat chicory without the grimace. It's bitter. Let's not pretend it's not. But there are easy ways to make it enjoyable. Sautéed with garlic and olive oil, the heat reduces bitterness and boosts absorption of fat-soluble vitamins mixed into other greens. Add a handful to spinach or romaine to dilute the bite roasted. Oven roasting with balsamic vinegar transforms the flavor into something smoky and sweet. Chopped into lentil soup or minestrone adds depth and a touch of heart-friendly bitterness. TIP. Look for curly endive or escarole in the store. Both are types of chicory. A word of caution. Chicory greens may interact with blood thinners due to their vitamin K content. If you're on warfarin or similar meds, be consistent in intake and discuss with your doctor. If you have gallbladder issues, consult a physician. Chicory can stimulate bile production. Always wash well. Their crevices can hide soil or grit. A story from the garden. When I was a child, my grandfather, a World War II vet, had a tiny garden in the backyard. He grew tomatoes, green onions, and a mystery green he'd force into every meal. One day I asked him, "Why do you eat that bitter stuff?" He smiled and said, "Because I'd rather live long and bitter than short and sweet." Now that I'm older, I get it. That bitter stuff was chicory. And he lived to 92, with a clear mind, a strong heart, and 0 medications. So if your salad feels too safe, if your breakfast lacks that brain-loving edge, If you're ready to feed not just your body, but your future, try chicory. It may taste strong, but so is its power to protect. 8. Celery leaves, the forgotten superfood for brain circulation. We've all seen it happen. You buy a bunch of celery, chop off the leafy tops, toss them in the trash, and move on with the stalks. But what if I told you the part you've been throwing away for years might hold one of the most powerful stroke-fighting secrets in your fridge? Yes, I'm talking about celery leaves. Not just a garnish, not just extra. They're a green medicine chest for your brain and blood vessels. What makes celery leaves special? Unlike the watery stalks, celery leaves are densely packed with luteolin, a flavonoid, with strong anti-inflammatory effects on brain tissue. Apigenin, another plant compound known to protect blood vessels and improve brain signaling, vitamin K and folate, both crucial for reducing homocysteine, a chemical that increases stroke risk. In fact, a 2020 study from Nutritional Neuroscience found that luteolin reduces microglial activation, a form of brain inflammation seen in aging and early stroke. The leaves are also rich in potassium, which helps relax blood vessel walls and reduce blood pressure, a key factor in stroke prevention. Why this matters to seniors. As we age, circulation to the brain becomes more fragile. Small blood vessels become stiff. Blood flow slows. Clots form more easily. This is where celery leaves shine. Their unique blend of neuroprotective antioxidants and vascular-friendly nutrients makes them one of the most underrated tools for keeping the brain's highways open and clear. And here's the kicker. You don't need a lot. Just a few tablespoons a day can make a real difference. How to use celery leaves daily. The key is to stop throwing them away and start using them like the superfood they are. Here are a few simple ways. Blend into smoothies. A handful adds a light, fresh flavor without bitterness. Chop into egg salad or tuna salad, just like parsley, but with a brain boost. Simmer in soups. Use like bay leaves for added depth and nutrients. Mix into mashed potatoes or casseroles. Adds color, crunch, and circulation power. Dry them for tea? Yes, celery leaf tea is a thing, and surprisingly refreshing. Pro tip: combine with turmeric or ginger in smoothies for a brain-circulating anti-inflammatory combo. A few notes of caution. Celery leaves are high in vitamin K. If you're taking blood thinners, eat consistently and monitor with your doctor. Buy organic if possible. Leaves tend to retain pesticides more than the stalks. Avoid overconsumption if you have celery allergy or oxalate sensitivity. A moment of reflection. Last month, I visited a senior center in Pennsylvania where a group of retirees meets every week to cook heart-healthy meals together. One woman, Mrs. Helen, 81, shared how she used to struggle with dizzy spells in the morning. Her doctor ruled out major issues but warned her about poor brain circulation. I started drinking celery leaf tea every evening, she said, and tossing them into my omelets. 3 months later, her symptoms improved. But more importantly, I feel sharper, she said, more present, like the fog has lifted. Sometimes healing comes from the parts we've ignored, and sometimes it's right there in the trash bin. So next time you buy celery, don't throw away the leaves. Toss them into your life, into your breakfast, into your brain's well-being. Because what looks like scraps might just be the green gold your circulation has been waiting for. 9. Red kale, the vibrant defender of artery health. If green kale is the king of superfoods, then red kale is the hidden queen that too many seniors overlook. It's vibrant, it's slightly sweeter, and it holds an impressive arsenal of nutrients designed to protect your arteries, reduce inflammation, and fight the silent risks of stroke. But walk through most grocery stores and you'll see plenty of green kale, while red kale sits quietly off to the side, waiting to be noticed. What makes red kale unique? Unlike its green cousin, red kale contains higher levels of anthocyanins, the same deep red-purple pigments found in blueberries and red cabbage. And that color? It's not just beautiful, it's medicine. Here's what red kale delivers. Quercetin, a potent anti-inflammatory flavonoid that improves endothelial function, supporting smoother blood flow to the brain. Vitamin K1. Essential for preventing calcium buildup in arteries, reducing stroke risk. Omega-3 ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, found in trace amounts in red kale, helpful for brain health. Lutein and zeaxanthin, eye-protecting antioxidants that also support neurovascular circulation. According to a 2021 study in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging, diets rich in anthocyanin-containing vegetables were linked to a 32% lower risk of ischemic stroke in adults over 60 increases, especially in blood vessels. This leads to plaque buildup, hardening of arteries, and restricted blood flow, the perfect storm for a stroke. Red kale acts like a sponge, soaking up damaging free radicals and delivering a steady stream of nutrients that keep arteries flexible, lower bad cholesterol, LDL, or improve blood vessel lining function, reduce blood pressure. How to add red kale to your life. Red kale can be just as versatile as green kale, and even more enjoyable with its mild flavor. Here are some easy, senior-friendly ideas. Sautéed with garlic and olive oil, a quick brain-boosting side dish. Add to scrambled eggs or omelets for color, texture, and nutrition. Blend into fruit smoothies, especially with banana or pineapple. To balance the earthy taste, bake into kale chips, lightly salted, crisp, and heart-healthy. Chop into soups or stews, especially lentil or bean-based, for added fiber and stroke prevention synergy. Bonus tip: massage raw red kale with lemon juice and olive oil before adding to salads. This softens the texture and enhances absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. A few cautions. Vitamin K content is high. Again, if you're on blood thinners, consistency is key. Choose organic when possible. Leafy greens tend to retain pesticide residue. Red kale may cause mild bloating for sensitive stomachs. Start small if you're new to cruciferous veggies. A personal moment. Last winter, I met Mr. Joseph, 79, at a local gardening club in Oregon. He shared how his doctor flagged his high blood pressure and cholesterol and warned of possible signs of carotid artery narrowing. I didn't want another pill, he said. I wanted something from the earth. So Joseph planted a row of red kale right next to his tomatoes. 3 months later, his blood pressure was down. His walking improved. And every time he served a bowl of red kale soup, his grandchildren called it brain fuel. Funny, he laughed. I used to ignore this stuff. Now I grow it with pride. So the next time you spot a bundle of red kale, don't walk past it. Bring it home, cook it slowly, eat it gratefully. Because sometimes the most powerful medicine is leafy, red, and rooted in care. As we grow older, it's easy to feel like certain things are out of our control. The years go by. The doctor visits increase. The headlines talk about strokes, blood pressure, memory loss. And sometimes we quietly wonder, is it too late to protect my health? Can I really make a difference just by changing what I eat? The answer, spoken gently but firmly, is yes, you can. Because every leaf of kale, every cup of beet greens, every bite of parsley or red spinach isn't just food. It's a signal to your brain, to your heart, to your blood vessels, that you are still choosing life. These vegetables, humble, simple, often overlooked, carry the ability to calm inflammation, open your arteries, and keep the blood flowing where it matters most, to your brain. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight. Just start with one. Turnip greens in your soup, a sprinkle of chopped garlic on your toast, a red kale salad for Sunday dinner. Bit by bit, you'll be feeding the parts of you that medicine often overlooks: hope, strength, and a sense of control. And if you're watching this not just for yourself, but for someone you love, a parent, a spouse, a friend, please share it with them. Because sometimes it only takes one small change at the grocery store to prevent a lifetime of regret.